Commander Marcus Chen stared at the holographic display showing the Zephyrian armada approaching Earth's outer defense perimeter. 12 years ago, the Terran Space Fleet had deemed him psychologically unfit for command after he'd questioned their rigid tactical doctrine. Now, as the alien ships carved through humanity's finest warships like plasma through paper, Chen was their last hope. "Sir, the Valiant and Defiance have been destroyed," reported Lieutenant Sarah Hayes from her position at the communications array. "Admiral Morrison is requesting immediate evacuation protocols." Chen's weathered hands gripped the command chair of the Redemption, a jury-rigged vessel cobbled together from decommissioned parts and salvaged alien technology. His crew of 37 misfits, rejects, and volunteers had spent the last decade in the Outer Rim, learning to fight dirty while the fleet practiced their parade formations. "Negative on the evacuation," Chen replied, his voice steady despite the chaos unfolding on the tactical display. "Patch me through to Morrison." Admiral Morrison's face appeared on the main screen, his pristine uniform a stark contrast to Chen's oil-stained coveralls. "Chen, what the hell are you doing here? This is a military operation." "Watching you lose it," Chen said bluntly. "Your ships are fighting like it's still 2387, Admiral. The Zephyrians have adapted. You haven't." Morrison's face flushed red. "You were discharged for insubordination." "I was discharged for thinking outside your little box," Chen interrupted. "And right now, that box is getting people killed. Stand down your remaining ships and let me handle this." "Absolutely not." "I won't let some washout." The transmission cut as Chen nodded to Hayes. "Sorry, Admiral. Technical difficulties." Chen turned to his helmsman, a former smuggler named Victor Petrov. "Victor, remember that maneuver we practiced in the Kepler belt?" Petrov's scarred face split into a grin. "The one you said was too crazy to ever use?" "That's the one. Take us into the asteroid field between Mars and Jupiter. Engine signature minimal. Weapons cold." The Redemption banked hard, her mismatched engines straining as she dove toward the debris field. The Zephyrian fleet, focused on the retreating Terran ships, didn't notice the small craft disappearing among the rocks. "Chen, you magnificent bastard," muttered Dr. Elena Vasquez from her engineering station. "I know what you're thinking." Chen smiled grimly. The doctor had been blacklisted from the fleet's research division for her unethical experiments with alien biotechnology. Now her hybrid human-Zephyrian neural interface was their secret weapon. "Elena, how long to sync with their command ship?" "Give me 10 minutes to hack their quantum entanglement network," she replied, her fingers dancing over controls that would have horrified fleet technicians. "Their encryption is military grade, but they never expected someone to use their own biological components against them." The Redemption drifted silently through the asteroid field, her crew holding their breath as Zephyrian scouts passed within, kilometers. Chen had learned patience during his exile, studying alien tactics while the fleet remained convinced of human superiority. "I'm in," Elena announced. "Their command protocols are interesting. They use a hive mind tactical system. Each ship is a node in a greater consciousness." "Can you disrupt it?" "Better. I can feed them false information. But Chen, once I do this, they'll know we have their biotechnology. This burns every bridge." Chen looked around at his crew. Former convicts, discharged soldiers, civilian volunteers who'd lost everything to alien raids. They'd followed him into exile because they believed in something the fleet had forgotten, that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their numbers, but their ability to adapt and think differently. "Do it." Elena's neural interface, pulsed with alien bioluminescence as she made contact with the Zephyrian command network. Feeding them sensor ghosts. Now, they think they're detecting a massive fleet reinforcement coming from the Jupiter colonies. On the tactical display, the Zephyrian formation began to shift, their ships repositioning to meet a threat that didn't exist. It was working, but Chen knew they had minutes before the enemy realized the deception. "Victor, bring us around behind their flagship. Hayes, charge the railgun." "Sir," Hayes said hesitantly, "the railgun was never tested at this range. If we miss, we won't miss," Chen said with quiet confidence. "Because we're not aiming for their ship. We're aiming for that asteroid." Understanding dawned on Petrov's face. "The big one with the metallic core?" "Correct. At this range, with the right trajectory, we can turn it into the galaxy's largest kinetic projectile." The Redemption aligned her shot carefully, every system running silent except for the railgun's charging sequence. The Zephyrian flagship, still reacting to Elena's false intelligence, had positioned itself perfectly in the asteroid's projected path. "Firing," Chen announced. The railgun's magnetic coils discharged with a sound like thunder, sending a tungsten slug into the asteroid's core at a significant fraction of light speed. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the massive rock began to tumble, its trajectory shifting imperceptibly, but inevitably toward the alien command ship. "Impact in 47 seconds, calculated Hayes. The Zephyrians detected the threat too, late. Their flagship's engines screamed to life, but momentum and physics were against them. The asteroid struck their command vessel like the fist of an angry god, the impact visible even from their distant position. "Their network is collapsing," Elena reported. "Without the command ship, they're reverting to individual unit protocols. No coordination." Chen watched as the Zephyrian fleet began to scatter, their hive mind broken and their tactical advantage lost. The remaining Terran ships, led by Admiral Morrison's reformed battle group, moved in to exploit the chaos. Hours later, as the last alien ship limped away from Earth's system, Admiral Morrison's face reappeared on the screen. This time, his expression was humble. "Commander Chen," Morrison said formally, "the Terran Council has asked me to extend an offer: full reinstatement, promotion to Admiral, and command of your own task force." Chen looked around at his crew, his family, and smiled. "Thank you, Admiral, but I'll have to decline. The fleet never understood that humanity's real strength isn't in following orders. It's in questioning them." As the Redemption set course for the Outer Rim, Chen reflected on the day's events. The fleet would return to their regulations and protocols, but there would always be humans like him and his crew, the rejects, the misfits, the ones who dared to think differently. And when the next impossible situation arose, they'd be ready. After all, humanity's greatest victories had never come from those who followed the rules. They came from those who rewrote them entirely.